Yeah, I just think it's about putting up anti-cut cannons. I think you have a real problem. The reason we're in the position we are now is because of power. And people have allowed institutions to take that power away from them. They've allowed the trade unions to become bureaucratic. They've allowed the Labour Party to become a capitalist front. I'm a member of the Labour Party, but I haven't voted Labour for a long time. And I really do not understand how anybody, a member of the Labour Party, did not see this coming 20 years ago in terms of economic policy and the rest of it. And I've heard people say, we need leadership. Well, I think you are the leaders. If you show, as a unified body, with all your different political background, that you don't like this, then you're taking back your power that you've given away. When politicians see something powerful, they want to be part of it.
Yeah.
How are you going to lever, apart from the Green Party? I'm not a member of the Green Party, but the Green Party has had these policies forever, since it was the Ecology Party. But unless you take back your power by being your own leaders, by actually, as lots of people are, getting out and showing that you understand what's going on, that you want to take back your power, then your leaders will follow you.
Yeah.
Because that's the nature of power. If you don't take power, you give it away. And people here, you are powerful. You are powerful if you intend to do something. So I think trying to go the normal political, let's start a political movement, let's have people standing as anti-cut. First of all, it's going to create all the problems with existing political parties, and also it might well divide this group up. And I think we should really consider that very strongly in doing that, even though I disagree with all the defence that's been made of the Labour Party, most by and large 90% of it, and I find it very difficult to actually listen to people defending the Labour Party. But so that's where I'm coming from. But I'm willing to take part in this group as a non-aligned person, and I don't think you should really divide it. And I also think you should consider yourself, as I say, as leaders, because if you take your own power and go right where I started, then the so-called powerful will follow you.
Yeah. I'm John Mooney, I'm the Secretary of the Trades Council and also Eunice Stewart. And I've just been to Cabinet where the Cabinet actually voted to cut £200,000 out of my section, which is partly why I'm speaking. I'm also speaking to somebody who has been suggested at a Trades Council meeting we put up anti-cuts candidates, which wasn't quite what I said. And I apologise to the meeting's gone on about the Labour Party again, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because it is kind of central to what's going on in Calderdale. We have a Lib Dem Labour coalition running this council. And say that committee just voted to cut £200,000 off. At the same time, I think it was Michael Peel, I don't know who he is, asked the question of the councillors on committee about whether they'd signed the local government petition. And someone said they weren't sure, and then someone said yes, it's the preamble they agreed with. And I think someone will actually go and sign it. And I suppose that's the thing, we have to turn around. I don't think we're at a stage of saying we're going to put up candidates. Now I appreciate the politics of the Labour Party and everybody else who put up candidates. And it may be some other people go and do that, but we have to put pressure on these Labour councillors. Now it's interesting what Dave said about putting demands on people in local government, what they do. And I think, yeah, we should demand from Labour councillors to explain themselves. I mean, my guts tell me I don't want any Labour councillor in this room who's just voted to cut my job. You can bugger off, I don't want them here. But other people may think that's alright, but I think they have to explain themselves. If people are in the Labour group and they're on the council and they're going to get involved in increased cuts, then come and tell us why. They have to justify themselves. We don't have to justify attacking them. They're taking the side of the Tories, and we should put pressure on to get rid of them. That's what we should be doing.
One of the things that was very noticeable in that just over an hour we spent on Saturday handing out leaflets about this meeting was that we met the dispossessed and the disappointed and the angry, and there were a fair number of people who were prepared to be very, very angry indeed, and you know, that's supportive, I think, of the mood of the country. But what we ought to realise is that it's not just the angry that could be enrolled in this movement. You know, the current debt, personal debt in the UK is 1.4 trillion. That's 1 and 12 noughts. It's a number so large, it's hard to conceive of. Now, rich people generally owe more money than poor people, actually, because they take on more mortgages and things like that. But there's an awful lot of people got caught out by the changes in economic conditions, and people will fight for their own interests. So it's not just the dispossessed, the disillusioned, and the angry. There are an awful lot of middle-class people out there who would be prepared to join and prepared to support us as long as we put an intelligent and articulate case. And that's what I think we should be doing. Not just talking to ourselves, and certainly not knocking lumps out of each other, just for the practice. Now, is anyone else wants to speak at the moment? But can we come down to practical things we can do, if possible?
Can I just come up very, very briefly? You know, I think it's really, really unfortunate that we've come here tonight to talk about what the Tories are doing, and certain people seem more interested in slagging off the Labour Party. And, you know, I get so tired of going to meetings which have really, really good intentions. I want to do positive stuff, and you get the same old sectarian bickering, unnecessary nonsense about standing anti-cuts candidates who, let's be honest, will end up getting a derisory amount of votes. It's a distraction. It's not what we should be doing. As I said, we should be putting pressure on those who feel they have to make the cuts and tell them they don't, and that's what we should be doing. We're just going down blind alleys, which the left is very, very good at doing, yet again.
Sorry, I thought you did. And who wants to speak?
Can we hear from
Yeah.
the student?
Student guy.
Craig, do you want to speak? Oh, yes, certainly, please. I did ask you earlier.
Just to let you know, I'm not into
I saw
politics,
his
by the way,
hand.
so I don't want to be like shouted at and stuff. I respect you anyway. But it is actually a frightening politics, to be honest, because you're going on about like all the cuts and stuff. And I'm not really 100% sure myself as a student what I'm going up against. You know, and I'm up for challenges, mate. But the one thing I don't want to see is students, or any students, having to go through a lot of things. Because even though I am looking young, I'm actually getting on. I'm actually 29 years old.
Sit down.
I'm doing sports. I've already done one trade already. Yeah? And same for what you went about this whole factory thing and whatnot. I'm not 100% sure I work like around. But I must have felt that somewhere along the line. Yeah? Because like I said, I've worked as a joiner and I've had to come out of that trade for one reason was that there were no work and I didn't understand why. Now I'd like to think back at school that they could educate me and say, oh, 10 years down the line, if anything did happen, then this is what you could do. But if they did, then maybe I won't be studying now, talking to you guys about the situation, what's going on, which is, like you say, all the cuts and stuff. Now, how we all get together now to try and put this right is, you know, it's going to be a very, very big task. Now, this whole group thing, I will join it, but there won't be much I can do apart from be up at college and find out what the students are really thinking, because that is the main issue at the moment. You know, because like I say, if the students are going to be the future leaders, then maybe we have to like think about what we can do for them as well. You know, and like I said, the cuts are the main things now, and we have to kind of think about how we're going to put that out in a nice way in the demonstration wise, instead of going out and throwing things off buildings and stuff. No, we don't. I don't deal with violence, mate. I like to think that we can do things practically and forcefully in nice ways. I mean, coming from a sporting background,